The gentleman from Georgia.
Mr. Speaker, at this time, I'd like to yield 5 minutes to the gentleman from Texas who has been battling in the trenches over this idea for a number of years and who I'm just as pleased as can be that his idea has come to fruition today, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Gohmert.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I understand the concerns of a friend across the aisle, but I'm telling you, this is a great day for Congress, for America. Going back to 1974, most liberal Congress in America until the time when Speaker Pelosi took the gavel. 1974, rules for CBO were put in place, making it difficult to ever make actual tax cuts that helped the economy grow, as John F. Kennedy made clear and showed it by his actions. But that was also a time when Congress thought it would be a good idea to create automatic increases of every discretionary department's budget in the federal government. Automatic increases. I mean, there are times when increases would be appropriate. There are times when it would not be. But why should the government not have to deal with financial issues like any responsible American, like any responsible family? There'll be times you should have to make cuts. There'll be times when you should have to make increases. But what we saw through the 90s, back during my days when I was judge, I heard a guy named Rush Limbaugh bring up, why have this automatic increase? Because then when conservatives try to slightly decrease the amount of increase, they're said to be making draconian cuts. Well, I made a mental note. When I got to Congress in January of 2005, I couldn't believe to find out that we still had those automatic increases every year. And then to be going through a troubled time like we are now, when families across America are having to learn to do with less and make cuts across the board, Congress was still dealing with decreasing the amount of increase because we had these automatic increases. And we had a super committee that was formed last fall, and try as they might, they didn't even deal with the issue of the automatic increases. The committee's projections have had to be used because CBO, because of the same 1974 rules, ended up saying, well, gee, the formula could slightly change each year, so there's no way to know exactly what it would be over 10 years. Well, one thing's pretty clear. It would have been enough to clear the $1.2 trillion threshold in cuts. And all it would have been doing was decreasing the amount of increase. This is a great day for America when Congress, after all of these years, 37, 38 years now, Congress is dealing with a financial issue that should have been dealt with long ago. And I brought this up back in 2005, 2006, when Republicans were in the majority. And I was told back then by the committee chairman of the budget that, well, the law is we got to do the automatic increases, so we're just going to do it. It is really thrilling to me to have a chairman of the budget committee who saw this as a real problem. This should have been low-hanging fruit, as people like to say. This should have been an easy no-brainer. Cut out the automatic increases. We have a chairman of the budget right now that saw it was a problem. And it was also exciting to me to have a freshman like Rob Woodall come in and see it as a problem and collaborate, discuss the matter. Because really, to get a bill like this through, you need to have somebody that will shepherd it all the way through, subcommittee, committee, to get it to this point. So I am very grateful to Chairman Ryan. I'm very grateful to Mr. Woodall. Amazing. Freshman done an outstanding job. And now here we are about to do what could be the most responsible financial thing this Congress has done, this House has done in the whole last year. Could be $1.4 trillion in cuts over the next 10 years, and all we're doing is just stopping the automatic increase. There's a lot to be said for finally coming around to responsibility. There's a lot to be said. If you need an increase, come justify it. Don't get it automatically. And we